Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Winning Image here. I'll bring you guys a deck profile to my Rent-A-Girlfriend budget deck using 2 trial decks of the Weiss Schwarz Rent-A-Girlfriend series. With my 8-door Chizuru deck profile taking a little longer than expected because I'm still learning the effects, still learning the combos, the plays, how to fully take advantage of the deck skills, I feel very comfortable with the deck that I'm using right now to remote fight with my friends. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Skills will be in the bottom right if you don't know what they say. So starting off, we play 4 copies of Sumi through the viewfinder. Sumi is really good. She is the only Sumi card that we have in this deck, and it's a green 3/2 cost, 8k, so it's a little bit on the lower side, but the skill definitely makes up for it. So when she's played, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to hand, send the rest into waiting room. And then the other skill that she has when she gets reversed by battle, if the attacking unit is level 3 or lower or something like that, and then you could essentially get rid of that unit as well by sending it to their clock. Getting rid of your opponent's strong attackers, especially if it's in the same column as this, they could of course play around it, but then still have to commit something for the next turn. And then for the other level 3, we have Chizuru, Girlfriend Running Late. She has a really good effect as well, so when she's played, you could essentially heal 1, heal a card from your clock. And then Climax combo if you have Girlfriend mode, which is this one. We'll get into that later. When she attacks, you could ping 1 for your opponent. Damage cancel can occur, but it's really good getting that ping in, especially if you force a Climax early. It's really good because it's already going to be a 3 swinger if you have the Climax in play. Onto level 2s, we only play 5 of them, starting off with this Chonk Mommy, as I refer to her. Mommy gets pretty thick. So her skill is she's a 2/2, so a little bit more expensive, which is why we only play 2. And of course, we're on a standby deck, so we cut down the level 2s quite a bit. So she has this cool skill that continuously, both during your turn and your opponent's turn, she gets 1k for every one of your Rent-A-Girlfriend characters. So she could be hitting some high numbers and hard for your opponent to get around, especially since on-place destruction is kind of rare. She's really good for that reason, and that's why for this version of the deck, I'm definitely keeping her in here. And then we have the other card that gains power. We have Ruka. I think this is Beautiful Girl Mystery. This is the last level 2 we play. She has this cool skill that when she's played, she's a 2/1 cost. When she's played and you have 4 Rent-A-Girlfriend characters, you could send a card from your waiting room back to your stock, so it's really good. Essentially refunding itself, so if you have this and you could play it, you want to play it as early as possible. And then the other skill is during your turn, it gets plus 1,000 times the number of Rent-A-Girlfriend characters you have. So she could get big too, but Mommy is also during your opponent's turn, so even though the waifu is trash, she still gets big, and this one gets big during your turn. That's why I really like these cards, just helping us beat down our opponent. Next, onto the level 1s, we have 4 Ruka, Impatiently Waiting. So she has this really cool skill that allows her to gain power, especially since I'm still learning some of the skills. This is a really good effect out of the trial deck. So if you have 2 other Rent-A-Girlfriend characters, she gets 2k, making her 7k attacker, which is really nice, especially for a level 1. So a lot of level 2s are 7k, so it could hit and crash into those. So it's really good, especially for problematic cards that could be on your opponent's side of the field. And then we have 4 of our level 1 Climax combo, Ruka Original Appearance, I believe so. And then she gets 1k, so making her a 5/5 essentially. And then Climax combo, if you have Please Go Out With Me, which is her version of the Climax. We'll get into that later. When she reverses an opponent's unit by battle, you can add a character card from your waiting room to hand, so allowing you to get back lost pieces, or since you're already at level 1 and your waiting room's already filled up, I almost said drop zone. Vanguard. And your waiting room's already filled up, you could have a solid selection to be able to choose from and have another option to defeat your opponent in the following turn. Those are all the Ruka cards. Then we get on to the Chizuru cards. So Chizuru Ideal Sweetheart. This, of course, is the cover card of the deck. She gives power, and it's really good in this deck because, you know, a lot of this deck's power output comes either individually or from the Climax. So Chizuru Ideal Sweetheart's able to help us with giving power to some of our units. She's able to give 1.5k when she attacks, so putting our level 3s at 9/5 and 11/5 respectively, pre-Climax of course. And then, yeah, she's just really good for that reason, and I can't see playing like a trial deck-based build without her, and I even run her in my final 8-door Chizuru build. And then we have 2, the event. The event is really good, but the fact that it's a 1 cost, it kind of turns me off from it, especially if you want to encore stuff in a trial deck to save your boss units is really good. But no more words. So you pay 1, and then you send this card to memory and search your deck for a Rent-A-Girlfriend character and add it to your hand. Really good for deck thinning and just getting out whatever you need. Then we have 2 more Ruka I missed this one earlier. But yeah, she's just a backup in this deck. She's a counter backup 2500, so she's really good, especially if you want to protect some of your bigger boss cards or level 1s that you have on the field early if your opponent gets to level 2, because this deck could rush pretty hard. And then we have 2 Mommy Frosty Look. So she is a really good early beater. I'd consider bumping this up if you don't find the counter or the event as useful. But she has this cool skill that if you have 2 or less stock, she gets 1.5k, making him a 4k level 0 attacker, especially in the early game, which is super, super powerful. That's why we play her still in this deck out of the trial deck. Then we have 2 Mommy Accidental Reunion. This is just an assist, so all the characters in front of her gain 500, and then the unit in your center gets 500 as well. So she essentially gives 1k to your center column, which isn't really bad at all. I really like this card, and if you draw it, you draw it. If not, it doesn't really make much of a difference because you're still going to be able to get off your attacks. And then for, I would say, the main engine card of the deck, this is a really good starter card out of the trial deck, Chizuru Rental Girlfriend. So when she's placed, you reveal the top card of your deck. You can either add it to your hand, and then at the cost of a discard. And then her other skill, she essentially does the same thing, draw 1, discard 1. With how fast you're going to go through your deck, the refresh might come sooner than you think to help you defend and send back your climaxes. She's also a 1/5, so she's a little bit on the kinda lower side, kinda. So if I draw her, I like to play her as early as possible. Turn 1, sometimes even put her in the back, since you can only get 1 attack off, so just to have that filtering. And then 4 of what is known as her alias, Ichinose. Chizuru Beginning of Turbulence, though, is her actual card name. And then she has our Brainstorm effect. So her Brainstorm effect is rest her, pay 1, you reveal the top 4, and send it to the waiting room. For every climax, you draw a card, helping you generate some advantage early. And if you want to do her a few times to help accelerate your deck state, it's not bad either. And then her other skills, if she's on the field at the beginning of your main phase, you check the top card of your deck and either leave it at the top and put it in your waiting room. So just helping you, and if it's a climax, you could just leave it at the top, perform a skill, get a guaranteed draw. It's really good. And then lastly, we have 2 of the boy, Kazuya. Although he's lame in the anime and the manga currently, he's really doing a good job. So climax combo, you could discard either Please Go Out With Me or Girlfriend Mode. So this only works really with the trial deck stuff, and add 1 of them back to your hand. It's really good because a lot of your stuff, you know, Ruka Impatiently Waiting, Chizuru Running Late, they're both important climax combos no matter what the situation is. This will allow you to get them. And then for our climaxes, they both do the same thing. Please Go Out With Me and Girlfriend Mode. 1k1 everything. So, and then this one allows you to blind stock because it has a little sack, and then this one is a door, so you can add whatever when you check it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. I've been having a blast playing Weiss Schwarz and enjoying Rent a Girlfriend. I really hope we get this set in English. The title of this video is making me laugh so hard. Budget Rent a Girlfriend. I hope you guys get that. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you all next time. Peace.